Okay, so this is part 2 of Life on Earth and Beyond. What you'll notice about this section is it looks different from the text in the previous sections. So here's what we just finished, but this one is in almost like a rectangle here. The background's a different color. It has a heading. What we're going to call this is a sidebar. And usually in magazines, you would see a sidebar. It's probably not usually as thick as this one. It's usually maybe just one column. But it gives you information, background information to help your understanding of the other parts of the story. So this one is called What is Life? You'd think the answer is easy. Living things eat, take in energy, and give off waste, right? But a car eats gasoline and gives off heat and exhaust gases. A car isn't alive. So this first paragraph is kind of just like trying to really answer the question, what is life? Giving some information like, can you say a car is alive? Okay, so let's add the ability to reproduce. A car can't make baby cars. That doesn't work either. A fire eats wood and oxygen and gives off heat and carbon dioxide and smoke. It can reproduce too. A single spark can grow into a whole new fire. So they're trying to make this point, could fire be alive? So let's add the ability to evolve. Fires can't do this. Fire is fire. But all species of living things, from bacteria to bean plants to bears, evolve, which means they adapt over time in response to changes in their environment. I think probably something that's easiest to understand is skin color. People with darker skin are usually from places that are closer to the equator, which helps them be protected against having sunburn. That is something that is the way people there have evolved. Another thing is hair. Maybe people who live in a colder climate typically have more hair on their body. There's a whole bunch of other things. But anyway, so evolve and adapt just means that these living things have the ability to change in some way to make their life easier. So anyway, let's see. So now we have it. All living things eat, give off waste, reproduce, and evolve. Sorry, but there is one major glitch. Viruses. Viruses are very small, very simple microbes. They cause many human disease, including AIDS and the common cold. And probably the one you know the most right now is the coronavirus or COVID-19. Viruses take in energy, they give off waste, and they evolve, which evolving here in the case of corona, that's when they say that it might have a different strain or a strand. Flu viruses evolve so quickly that scientists must develop new flu vaccines every year to fight the latest version of the virus. You might have heard the flu being called H1N1 or A string or B string of these, and that's just the way that these viruses have evolved. The viruses can't reproduce by themselves. That's good. A virus must invade a living cell or invade the cell of a living thing, such as a bacterium, a plant, or an animal, and hijack the cell's machinery to make more viruses, which means when you would get a virus, it goes into your body, it goes into your cells, and then it kind of just takes over the cell in order to make more of that virus. So the question is a virus just a fancy bit of chemistry, or is it possible for something to be half alive? Scientists are still arguing over these questions, and there is no easy answer, and that is life. And that's kind of where we're stuck right now. Here, the gold circles and rods are the deadly H5N1 bird flu virus. I'm guessing in a few years when the new textbooks come out, there's probably going to be something about the coronavirus in there, because that's probably the most confusing ones that we have. All right, so here is a picture. These are the valleys of Mars. The average temperature on Mars is minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is minus 60 degrees Celsius, which is negative below freezing. But the temperature can reach 70 degrees Fahrenheit during the Martian summer. Martian just means Mars. The summer time in Mars can get up to 70 degrees. 70 degrees is probably something you would feel at the beginning of April, depending on the weather, of course. Our next heading is called Machines for Mars and Beyond. So we're back. We're now done with this sidebar, and we're back to our story about Chris and his team down in Antarctica. The team brought a gas chromatograph, I'm guessing on the pronunciation, a spectrometer, and 4 types of ultraviolet, which means UV lasers, to test in the dry valleys. Each machine used a different technique for sensing hidden microbes. The gas chromatograph sensed gases given off by microbes. The spectrometer looked for a kind of light absorbed by microbes. The UV laser sensed the glow given off by microbes when the UV laser shone on them. So these are just him explaining the different tools they're using to do their scientific experiments. At least that's what was supposed to happen. But the gas chromatograph didn't work at all, despite hours of tinkering, which means messing around with it, trying to fix it. Of the 6 machines Chris and the other scientists brought to Antarctica, only 2, the spectrometer and the UV laser, were good at finding microbes. Even recording test results was difficult. The ink froze in Chris's pen. Chris was pleased that 2 machines worked. Science is all about testing new things and ideas. Sometimes things work out and sometimes they don't. A spectrometer or UV laser may travel on a future NASA mission. The machines may land on a planet that, like the dry valleys, seem too cold or too dry for life. Yet, little green men might surprise us. And here he's just kind of referencing those bacteria, those little microbes that he saw. Here it says Kevin Hand, Robert Carlson, and Henry Sun, those are their names, test a spectrometer on a rock containing hidden life. So they must have found some kind of bacteria, some microbes there, and they're setting up all this equipment to investigate it. Chris can't wait to find out. He's been wondering what's out there ever since he found a dusty old telescope and pointed it into the night sky. That paragraph is just there to show us how invested he is into science. All right, this is our last piece for this video. Again, this is a sidebar. You can tell because of the different color here, the background, a different kind of heading text. And again, this doesn't go exactly with the story. It's giving us more information so that we can understand the story better. Bug-eyed guys with flying saucers. Scientists think that aliens on other planets are most likely to be microbes, not bug-eyed guys with flying saucers. Why is this? Microbial life is the simplest kind. Complex animals take much longer to evolve, which means change over time. As a result, microbial life should be far more common in the universe than the complex life. This is just meaning that if we are to find life in another planet and their body outside of the Earth, it's most likely going to be a microbe, some kind of bacteria or fungus. Simple, hardy microbes are also able to live in environments that are too harsh for complex life. That means many more possible homes are out there for alien microbes than for bug-eyed guys with flying saucers. They're just kind of doing a little play on what you think really Martians look like, and really what they're just looking for is these little microbes. Okay, back for another video talking about the Atacama Desert.